National Electrical Code Section 210.52b Exception 1 refers to Section 210.70a on Exception 1. Section 210.70a on Exception 1 states that in areas other than kitchens and bathrooms, one or more receptacles controlled by a wall switch shall be permitted in lieu of lighting outlets. A general consensus is that the wall receptacle in a kitchen cannot be a switched receptacle from a 15 ampere branch circuit used for lighting. This is because the exception in 210.70a on Exception 1 does not include the kitchen area. Therefore, in kitchens, you must have both lighting outlets and receptacle outlets. It is permissible for the receptacle outlets to be controlled by a wall switch. However, the lighting outlets must also be controlled by a wall switch, distinct from any switched receptacles. This interpretation stems from the specific wording of the code and the intent to ensure adequate lighting in kitchens independent of the availability of receptacle outlets. To further elaborate on the requirements for kitchen lighting and receptacle outlets, it's crucial to understand the purpose behind these regulations. Kitchens are considered high-use areas with diverse electrical needs, from powering appliances to providing ample lighting for food preparation and other tasks. The National Electrical Code aims to ensure safety and functionality in these environments. The requirement for dedicated lighting outlets, controlled by a wall switch, ensures that a readily available source of illumination is always present regardless of whether any appliances are plugged into the receptacle outlets. This is particularly important in situations where immediate lighting is needed, such as during a power outage or when performing tasks that require clear visibility. Furthermore, the prohibition of using switched receptacles as the sole source of lighting in kitchens prevents potential safety hazards and inconveniences. If a receptacle outlet is used for lighting, the user may be tempted to plug other appliances into the same outlet, potentially overloading the circuit and creating a fire hazard. Additionally, if the switched receptacle is accidentally turned off, the kitchen would be left without any lighting, which could be dangerous, especially during food preparation or other activities that require precise movements. The code's emphasis on having both lighting outlets and receptacle outlets provides a balanced approach, ensuring that kitchens have adequate lighting and sufficient power outlets for various appliances. The receptacle outlets can be used for countertop appliances such as blenders, toasters, and coffee makers, while the lighting outlets provide general illumination for the entire kitchen area. In summary, the interpretation of sections 210.52b Exception 1 and 210.70a on Exception 1 of the National Electrical Code clearly indicates that kitchens must have dedicated lighting outlets controlled by a wall switch, in addition to receptacle outlets. The receptacle outlets can be controlled by a wall switch, but they cannot be used as the sole source of lighting. This requirement ensures that kitchens have adequate lighting and sufficient power outlets for various electrical needs, while also promoting safety and preventing potential hazards. Now let's delve deeper into the specifics of lighting outlet placement and control in kitchens in accordance with the National Electrical Code. The code does not explicitly specify the exact number of lighting outlets required in a kitchen, but it does state that there must be at least one wall switch controlled lighting outlet in every habitable room and bathroom. In kitchens, this requirement is often met by installing a ceiling-mounted light fixture or recessed lighting fixtures that are controlled by a wall switch located near the entrance to the kitchen. In addition to the general lighting provided by the ceiling-mounted fixture, it's also common to install task lighting in specific areas of the kitchen, such as under cabinet lighting above countertops or pendant lights over islands or peninsulas. These task lighting fixtures provide focused illumination for food preparation and other tasks, and they can be controlled by separate switches or dimmers to allow for adjustable lighting levels. Regarding the control of lighting outlets, the National Electrical Code requires that at least one wall switch controlled light outlet be installed in every habitable room and bathroom. This requirement ensures that occupants can easily turn on and off the lights upon entering or exiting the room, without having to fumble for a lamp switch or other controls. In kitchens, the wall switch for the general lighting fixture is typically located near the entrance to the kitchen, where it is easily accessible. The switches for task lighting fixtures may be located in the same area or in other convenient locations, such as near the countertops or islands where the task lighting is needed. It's important to note that the National Electrical Code also addresses the placement of receptacle outlets in kitchens, specifically in Section 210.52c. This section requires the receptacle outlets be installed along countertops and islands spaced no more than 48 inches apart, so that no point along the countertop is more than 24 inches from a receptacle outlet. This requirement ensures that countertop appliances can be easily plugged in without the need for extension cords, which can be a safety hazard. In addition to the countertop receptacle outlets, the code also requires that at least one receptacle outlet be installed within 36 inches of the outside edge of each basin in a kitchen. This receptacle outlet is intended for use with small appliances such as electric razors or toothbrushes, and it must be protected by a ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, to prevent electric shock hazards. Furthermore, the National Electrical Code prohibits the installation of receptacle outlets above countertops in kitchens unless the countertop is specifically designed for this purpose. This restriction is intended to prevent water or other liquid from spilling into the receptacle outlets, which could create an electric shock hazard. In summary, the National Electrical Code sets forth specific requirements for lighting outlets and receptacle outlets in kitchens, aimed at ensuring safety, functionality, and convenience. These requirements address the number, placement, and control of lighting outlets, as well as the spacing and location of receptacle outlets along countertops and near sinks. By adhering to these code requirements, electricians and homeowners can create kitchens that are both well lit and equipped with ample power outlets for various electrical needs. Let's further discuss some common misconceptions regarding kitchen lighting and receptacle requirements. One prevalent misconception is that a switched receptacle can serve as the sole lighting outlet in a kitchen. This is incorrect, as the National Electrical Code explicitly requires a dedicated lighting outlet controlled by a wall switch, separate from any switched receptacles. The rationale behind this requirement is to ensure that there is always a readily available source of illumination in the kitchen, regardless of whether any appliances are plugged into the receptacle outlets. Another misconception is that task lighting, such as under-cabinet lighting, is optional in kitchens. While task lighting is not explicitly mandated by the National Electrical Code, it is highly recommended to provide focused illumination for food preparation and other tasks. Task lighting can significantly improve visibility and reduce eye strain, especially when working in areas with limited natural light. A third misconception is that GFCI protection is only required for receptacle outlets near sinks in kitchens. While GFCI protection is indeed required for receptacle outlets within 36 inches of a sink, it is also recommended for all receptacle outlets in kitchens, especially those serving countertop appliances. GFCI protection can prevent electric shock hazards by quickly interrupting the flow of electricity in the event of a ground fault. Another point of confusion often arises regarding the use of multi-wire branch circuits in kitchens. A multi-wire branch circuit is a type of electrical circuit that shares a neutral conductor between two or more hot conductors, allowing for more efficient use of wiring and reducing voltage drop. While multi-wire branch circuits are permitted in kitchens, they must be installed in accordance with the National Electrical Code, specifically Section 210.4. This section requires that multi-wire branch circuits supply only line to neutral loads, meaning that the loads connected to each hot conductor must be balanced as evenly as possible to prevent overloading the neutral conductor. Additionally, the code requires that multi-wire branch circuits be equipped with a common disconnect device that simultaneously disconnects all ungrounded conductors, ensuring that the circuit can be safely de-energized for maintenance or repair. In summary, it's crucial to dispel common misconceptions regarding kitchen lighting and receptacle requirements to ensure compliance with the National Electrical Code and promote safety in the kitchen environment. By understanding the specific requirements for lighting outlets, receptacle outlets, GFCI protection, and multi-wire branch circuits, electricians and homeowners can create kitchens that are both functional and safe. Now, let's address some frequently asked questions about kitchen lighting and receptacle requirements. One common question is whether it's permissible to install track lighting in a kitchen. The answer is yes, track lighting is permitted in kitchens, provided that it is installed in accordance with the National Electrical Code. Track lighting typically consists of a series of light fixtures mounted on a track that is attached to the ceiling. The track can be straight or curved, and the light fixtures can be adjusted to direct light where it is needed. When installing track lighting in a kitchen, it's important to ensure that the track is securely mounted to the ceiling and that the light fixtures are properly wired and grounded. Additionally, the track lighting should be controlled by a wall switch located near the entrance to the kitchen. Another common question is whether it's permissible to install recessed lighting in a kitchen. The answer is yes, recessed lighting is also permitted in kitchens, provided that it is installed in accordance with the National Electrical Code. Recessed lighting fixtures are installed within the ceiling, creating a flush or near flush appearance. Recessed lighting can provide general illumination for the entire kitchen area, and it can also be used for task lighting in specific areas, such as above countertops or islands. When installing recessed lighting in a kitchen, it's important to ensure that the fixtures are properly insulated and that they are installed with the correct clearance from combustible materials. Additionally, the recessed lighting should be controlled by a wall switch located near the entrance to the kitchen. A third common question is whether it's permissible to install pendant lights over a kitchen island or peninsula. The answer is yes, pendant lights are permitted over kitchen islands and peninsulas, provided that they are installed in accordance with the National Electrical Code. Pendant lights are typically suspended from the ceiling by a chain or cord, and they can provide both general illumination and task lighting for the island or peninsula area. When installing pendant lights over a kitchen island or peninsula, it's important to ensure that the lights are hung at the correct height to provide adequate illumination without obstructing views or creating glare. Additionally, the pendant light should be controlled by a switch or dimmer located near the island or peninsula. In conclusion, track lighting, recessed lighting, and pendant lights are all permitted in kitchens, provided that they are installed in accordance with the National Electrical Code and that they meet the specific requirements for lighting outlets and control. By carefully planning and installing kitchen lighting, electricians and homeowners can create a well-lit and functional space that meets their individual needs and preferences.